Splash! There it is. The Kansas City Chiefs make a move. They sign Hollywood Brown to come to KC and catch passes from Patrick Mahomes on a one-year deal worth up to $11 million. Brett Veach, thank you. You're making this wide receiver core actually pretty decent, and I'm excited to see how it turns out in 2024. And you see, late night news, we're not in the studio. But this time, I'm back at home. So hit that subscribe button because no matter where we are when breaking news drops, we get out a video to you, and that's why you should hit that sub button because we got Chiefs news, rumors, and breaking news to you right here, which we're going to break down this entire Marquise Brown signing on what it means for the Chiefs and also what it means for L'Jarius Sneed and the trade value of him going forward. So I'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Let's kind of get into this first off talking about Marquise Brown. Speedster wide receiver. We've talked about him a lot on past couple shows. Honestly, had a decent year this past year, 51 receptions, over 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, but he was limited, did not play the entire season in terms of all the games. Now, he did have a rotational quarterback last year. Kyler Murray was in there for the back half, but he also had Josh Dobbs. Clayton Tune even played a game. Well, Marquise Brown now gets to catch passes from the best quarterback in the National Football League in Patrick Mahomes. And I want to take a little bit of flashback here and just hopefully preview what we could see here from Hollywood. Because if you think about the last speedy wide receiver the Chiefs had that was Tyreek Hill. I feel as though we couldn't get exactly that. I'm not saying we're getting Tyreek Hill with Marquise Brown, but the speed was definitely a factor. We know Brett Veach has always valued speed in his wide receivers. That's why they traded up to get Rashee Rice, because he was able to do a lot of different things, one of those being speed. Well, now Hollywood fits pretty much everything in the way that Brett Veach likes to scout wide receivers. Now, I don't think the Chiefs are done because obviously they have pick 32. And I don't think they're going to just stay away from wide receivers still. Because if you think about it right now, your wide receiver core as it stands, as Mecole Hardman is still a free agent and Richie James is still a free agent, your wide receiver core is Rashee Rice as wide receiver number 1, Marquise Brown as wide receiver number 2, Kadarius Toney as wide receiver number 3, Sky Moore as wide receiver number 4, and then Justin Watson and Justin Ross as 5 and 6. Now, last year, the Chiefs had 7 wide receivers on roster, so I could see them definitely picking up another guy. But let's continue on here with Marquise Brown, as I really, really like this signing. I think it fits well. I think it's going to help out Patrick Mahomes being more confident in his receiving core. And Brown, although he does come with speed, he also comes with hands, because I'm telling you, his drops were not that big of a deal in Arizona or in Baltimore, where he started his career, which was a huge part of the Chiefs season in 2023 and a big reason why they only finished with an 11-win regular season when it could have been a lot more. I want you to grade this signing, though, before we continue here on the Chiefs Report talking and breaking down this signing. Give me an A, give me a B, give me a C, or give me a D on the re-signing of Marquise Brown. I'll give you my grade in just a moment here, but I really like this one. Let me know A, B, C, D, or F for the Hollywood Brown signing for Brett Veach and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to give it a B+. The reason it's not an A is because it's for 1 year. I would have liked to lock him down for at least 2. But at the same time, I like that Brett Veach is somewhat being stable with his money because he knows he has cap space to spend this year. Next year, we don't exactly know that. And there could be other people potentially available. Justin Jefferson is looking at potentially being a free agent next year if he decides to not sign an extension or be traded by the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe he decides to try and clear up cap space and bring him in. So I don't mind the 1 year thing. But I would have rather get him at least for 2 years, because 2 years is about where your cap hit is. Patrick Mahomes is going to start going for $60 million here in a couple years. Now, obviously, that could be restructured. We could turn into a signing bonus, and we could be talking about a lot different numbers here in, say, 365 days. Chris Jones, also this year, $7.5 million hit on the cap space, goes up to 30 next year, and then 40 that next year in 2026, 2025, whatever you want to call it. I think this was a move that Brett Veach wanted to do, but I'm pretty sure it took so long because of the 1 year. I think Hollywood was wanting a more stable deal, a 2-year, 3-year deal, and it seems as though the Chiefs were really sticking to their helmet of, okay, we are going to stick here with a 1-year deal. That's why it took so long, and there were talks literally all week. Obviously, free agency and the tampering period started Monday. It's now Thursday. They have been talking for the probably past 4 days, because the original reports But the Chiefs were talking to 3 wide receivers: Darnell Mooney, Curtis Samuel, and Marquise Brown. Well, let's go through those 3, because Darnell Mooney is now an Atlanta Falcon. Curtis Samuel today signed with the Buffalo Bills. So Marquise Brown was the last wide receiver they had left. There was a little talk about Calvin Ridley, but the Chiefs never really had any interest in him. Marquise Brown, they were in constant communication all week. Well, once Curtis Samuel went off the board, I feel like that sensed some urgency for Brett Veach, and he finally pulled the trigger on something that we've been wanting him to do for a long time now. The one thing I will say with L'Jarius Sneed, and regarding that, I'm still curious to see what the Chiefs do. Because with this $11 million potential cap hit, obviously we'll have to get the official numbers, but $11 million is what it's potentially up to. You were talking $15 million before this contract. I can't say what the cap hit's going to be. I can't say what the incentive bonuses are going to be and how that will affect the cap hit for this year and the next years. But if you're taking it at face value, I'm going to say probably $6 million at least in this cap hit. So you're taking $9 million now into the rest of free agency. Or you trade L'Jarius Sneed, who has $19.8 million on his contract, and you all of a sudden are back up to over $20 million. I'm curious to see what the Chiefs do in this situation, because I kind of want them to extend Sneed now. You got a good wide receiver for this year. That's what you were looking for. You can draft an Adonai Mitchell, a Xavier Worthy, who will be on a rookie contract for the next 4 years. I think this was actually a really smart move in hindsight. But how exactly are they going to go about the rest of this is going to be very, very key to how this move is looked at in 3, 4, 5 years. So I want to know from you, are the Chiefs done? Because that's what I'm waiting for. Is a L'Jarius Sneed trade coming? Are they going to draft a wide receiver at pick 32? I think they're going to do both. I think they may either extend Sneed at this point and draft a wide receiver, or if they trade Sneed, they may try and go get a Tyron Smith in free agency and bolster up that offensive line to protect Patrick Mahomes. So I fully expect the Chiefs to continue motoring on, because this is just their second official signing in terms of outside men. We talk about Irv Smith Jr. That was the only guy that came from a different team that the Chiefs have re-signed. Now, I do want to give you a quick update here before we get into the latter part of this video, because today they got back Tershawn Wharton and Derek Nottie. So you're talking right there, the defensive line actually got really bolstered up in the past couple of days. Derek Nottie, defensive tackle who played really well last year next to Chris Jones, he's back. Tershawn Wharton, another defensive tackle. He was liked and really could play on the edge if needed. He's back. I think that Brett Veach is setting this up of one of 2 ways. They're either going to trade L'Jarius Sneed, and pick 32 is going to be used on Ennis Rakestraw Jr. or a cornerback, or potentially even trading L'Jarius Sneed and then comboing picks to move up and get a Kool-Aid McKinstry, a Cooper DeJean, possibly a Nate Wiggins. I doubt they'll move up far enough to get Terrion Arnold or Quinion Mitchell. Those are the 2 top cornerbacks in my opinion, but I could still see the Chiefs really being able to make a couple different moves. I do ask the question though, because I think it's important to ask, now that this has happened, what do you think will happen with L'Jarius Sneed? Is he going to get traded, or is he going to be extended? I want you to let me know in the comment section down below. If you think he's going to be traded, then I want you to type T in the comment section. If you think he's going to be extended, you think the Chiefs are going to keep him in KC for the next 2, 3, 4 years, then I want you to type E in the comment section down below. I'm kind of leaning E, but I'm curious to see what you think. So get down and let me know in the comment section. Either way, though, this is a great move for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's late night, but hey, Brett Veach only likes to make moves in late nights. You talk about the signing of Drew Tranquill. That happened about 7 o'clock a week ago today. You talk about the re-signing of Chris Jones. That happened on Saturday evening around 9:50 Central Time. He likes the night, and I don't mind it. If you're going to make a move like this, you're going to bring in a wide receiver that effectively, to me, I think this secures at least a spot in Super Bowl 59. I think that's what that secures. I would honestly go further to say that they won it. I think that this is a lock for them to go win it again and go three-peat, because you talk about a wide receiver core of Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, Marquise Brown, potentially Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, Troy Franklin, or at worst, you get a wide receiver in the second round, a Devontae Walker, a Brendan Rice. This team is looking really, really nice for the 2024 season. And I have to be honest, I hope they extend L'Jarius Sneed up, because if they do that, the Chiefs are running it back with the same people, and the league should be scared because they just got a better wide receiver on top of it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys, because I know we're not at the Chat Sports Studio, and a lot has been going on this week. We've been putting out multiple videos on some days. Some days there's been no news. Well, now we get news to break, so hit that subscribe button because tomorrow we're going to talk some more on the L'Jarius Sneed trade buzz. Could he go to the Titans? Could he go to the Colts? We'll break it all down and potentially maybe an extension coming as well. So hit that subscribe button. We'll be back in the Chat Sports Studio. But for now, Chiefs Kingdom, Hollywood is coming to KC. We appreciate y'all, and peace out.